folks. I've got a couple new guitars to build, and I've done some of it already, and I'll tell you, it's an acoustic guitar. So I was planning on building myself an acoustic guitar, and I had a guy decide he wanted me to build him an acoustic guitar as well. So I'm just going to build two at the same time. They're going to be 12th fret slotted OM Martin style guitars, and I should say slotted peghead OM style. I've long been a fan of the triple O OM body size with Martin guitars, and so being my first real full into, I have done an acoustic guitar in the past, and I have video about that. That was for mica, but it was still an acoustic guitar. So, but there's a difference because I don't have to bend sides with Formica. You just have to put them in the mold, and they instantly go to the shape you want. And once you have it all glued together, that's how it is. So anyway, like I said, I started some things. I'm going to avoid filming some things, and you'll see them in use later. And I'll show you what I've done so far and kind of explain that. So let's go there. Let's start with one of the first things I did when I was considering. Well, I had some top material given to me. They were apparently Ovation, you know, old stock kind of stuff. They weren't really matched tops, so they were basically half tops. And then I kind of shifted through the pile and took 4 pieces I thought looked pretty good. The thing is, I pulled them back out for this project, and I glued them up in a previous video. I did a little demo on how to glue tops. So they're really not going to be satisfactory for top wood. And I had already ordered this material, even though I had planned on using the other top wood. And I was gonna mention these guys to you because they're a couple younger guys that are running a small business sawmill up in Canada, and they have a website, and I think it was WMH is the website, WMH Wood Made Here, and I have the price sheet and all. I'm not going to give you the pricing because I think it was fair, but I don't want to quote for them in case they've had to raise prices for whatever reason. And I thought I was thinking it was kind of a small website, so I'd give them a shout out. And I looked, and I think they have something like 12,000 subs. So I mean, they're not a small website by any means. Way bigger than mine. So they should be giving me a shout out. But anyway, I bought a bundle of what they call their bracewood, and you're not going to be able to see it here. Most of this is very well quarter sawn material. Problem is, it's all good for your cross braces and all your other braces because I can size it down from here. But I don't have the larger pieces that are going to be needed, so I'm going to have to source some more spruce. I may just give them a message and see what happens. And I got 2 sets, and these are AAA, and they're dreadnought size, even though I'm going to be doing OM. And they are very well quartered, and they are very well, and there again, I could try to show you in the camera, but I don't think you're going to really see that. Maybe you can, but they're very well quartered, and it's actually very tight grain as well. So the tighter grain goes in the center where the bridge is and the most tension is, and then they open up a little bit as they go out. Now these are well beyond what I need as far as thickness goes. Let me just they vary a little bit, but let me grab a random one here. I'm going to say this is the narrowest, the thinnest piece in this pile, and it's 0.224, so we're almost a 1/4 inch thick, and we need about 1/8 really, so half of this. And then we've got one here that's 270, so it's even over a 1/4 inch thick. So plenty of material here. The thing I want to do is to make sure I'm gonna put them through the drum sander, and I'm gonna clean them up because this is rough cut stuff here. It's you know, and that may be why they have a little bit better pricing than what I found elsewhere. But I've got a drum sander, so I don't care. And I'm going to put them through the sander, clean them up, and then find my best matching faces. These are in pairs, and so I'm going to assume that the inside of each of these pairs was what they intended for the book match. Although if it's very straight grain spruce, which it is, we're not going to see a lot of figure or anything where we have to worry about the perfect book match, although I believe they are book match tops. So that is what I did first. Well, I take that back. I bought this set of plans first a long time ago. Now I'm putting in a pickup that you have to glue pieces in, so that was my half hour for the first little circle. 2 more to go. Can you guess what pickup I'm putting in? Another project. So first thing I did was I got these plans. These were drawn, I believe these were drawn by, well, I'm not going to jump to conclusions here. I know I got a set for mandolin that was drawn by Don McCroskey at StuMac. And yeah, it looks like he drew these as well. So this is fashioned, you can see it says triple O. It's upside down, but it says triple O. Can you see that? And so these are very, very well done. I mean, I'm not going to say that there aren't a couple little squiggly lines here and there, but I've had some plans that were so bad that the lines were 1/16 of an inch thick, and you couldn't scale anything off the print. It just, if you didn't have a call-out number, you just had to guess. So anyway, it's a very, and I'm not going to try to open it all, it's a very complete plan. It shows everything you need, and the bracing, layout, and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing I did, we'll back up here. I took a piece of tracing paper, vellum. It's kind of just sort of translucent parchment paper, and I put it over here, and I traced half of this circle, and then I glued it down to this and cut it out and made sure everything lined up good. And then I went to my plastic piece so that I can lay out my boards once I have all that good stuff sized and glued together and ready to go. So I made the plastic piece out of this piece by just gluing and routing half of this at a time and then doing the other half. And then I transferred all the bracing onto here by punching little dots into that and then drilling all those and then connecting the dots and actually inking the pattern, and just so easier to follow when you're actually working. I put these little blobs out here on the side, thinking that I might at some point want to drill holes in here, and then also in the radius dish and also in the piece I'm working on, in order to make sure everything's lined up. But if I were using this for a gluing template, which I thought about it initially, it was actually routing these slots out and all of this, but the template's thin, and I'm just saying I'm not mass producing these things, and it would take me longer to set up and route all these things accurately than I think it would be worthwhile. If I had a CNC machine, or if I wanted to spend $100 or more to buy one from somebody else that has a CNC machine, I would do that. But as it is, I'm just going to lay it down, mark the holes. Let me back up a second. I'm going to grab something. Okay, so while I was fiddling with this yesterday, I went ahead and grabbed one of those other tops, and you can see how wide the grain is right here. Actually, it's kind of weird, and these aren't matched by any means, because this grain is wide here, and it's wide here, and then it gets kind of narrow, and then it gets wide again. So it's kind of like one of those slow grow, decades or something. I got the same thing over here, kind of a lot narrower right out in here, and for some reason right here it's really wide. It would probably be fine, but I'm thinking, like, why start a build with inferior products? So you can see I did here. I went ahead and traced it, and then I put the pencil marks through the holes, and then I went and I connected all the dots. So here's the complete layout, X bracing, tone bars, and your transverse brace here, and then you've got another brace here that I'm not sure what they call that. Let me check the plan. Is there one here? It just says T6. That's the T6. That's another thing. Basically, none of this up here creates tone. This has all got to be pretty rigid. You got a big block right here that the neck sets into, and that's very rigid. So all of this is pretty stout. So you don't really start getting any top movement until you're down in the sound hole area and beyond. So anyway, but just so you can see what this is going to look like. Now, the other thing I'm not going to do during this prep for this build at any rate is I'm not going to video making body molds. I made body molds for the 335. I made body molds for the previous acoustic, even though it was for mica. I've got lots of different sorts of body mold things floating around here from other projects that I've built in the past, and I don't feel the need to film all that. There's plenty of videos out there with people making body molds, and it's just awful boring stuff. I mean, I don't even want to do it. It's so awful boring, but I'm going to do it because I want to build a guitar. And then theoretically, after I've built the body mold, you know, the one time, I'm going to build 2 guitars right now, and then I'm going to, you know, hopefully be building more in the future. The wood makeup of these 2 guitars are going to be mahogany and Sitka spruce on the top. So mahogany back and sides, mahogany neck, and then Sitka spruce top, Sitka spruce bracing. Generally, the bridge plate is going to be maple, but I could use rosewood or anything hard like that. So that's kind of it for right now. The fretboard should be ebony. The bridge should be ebony. And I'm not sure about the tuners. I'm going to do slotted pegheads. So I haven't investigated tuners yet, so we'll see what I end up with on those. So that's pretty much it for right now, folks. There's a guy, and I told him I was going to give him a shout out. His name is well, I don't know his name. His website or YouTube channel is called 92 Guitars, and I did this in another video, but I don't think I've published it. But anyway, it's 90 spelled out and then the number 2, and he's built a bunch of guitars. He's got a relatively new YouTube channel, and he's currently building a steel body resonator guitar, and he's pretty particular. He goes through a bunch of stuff. He does a lot of testing. He's been working on this guitar, and if he does something he doesn't like, he just kicks it to the curb and he starts over and builds it another way, a better way. Anyway, so check him out. He's an interesting guy to watch, and show him some love. Subscribe, you know, send him bushels of money, whatever it takes. Anyway, you know, just like you do with me. So that's it, guys and gals. Thanks much. We'll talk to you next time. Well, all right. So here's a little tag on into the video. I forgot to mention that I had overhauled my radius dish. When I originally made this, I screwed up on my calculations somewhere, and I ended up with a 7.5 foot radius rather than a 15-foot radius. So I, you know, set up again, and I recut the same dish at 15-foot radius, and then I added another 1/2-inch layer of MDF on the edge of that to help keep it solid and flat. So there's that little bit. I also already have the mahogany, one of the mahogany backs glued up, since I was only planning on, you know, building one initially. So I still have enough material to glue the other back up, and this is actually sanded to about 120, which is maybe my final thickness on that. And I should mention that even though I haven't built acoustic guitars out of real wood before, I have sanded, I can't even tell you how many tops for a guy. And I got to where I could just take the sanded tops and flick them. You know, he wanted them to be in a certain range, but he liked me to just kind of get it to where I thought it felt right, and he would take it and build them from there. So I think I got the feel down for that. The other thing I did was I made a radius call, even though I mismarked it at 30 and had to change it to 15, so that I can put a piece of bracewood on here and actually just draw the radius on the bracewood and then pre-trim it, whether it's a bandsaw or the block plane. Trim it down closer to that fits the radius dish, and then I can finish sanding the radius in with the dish, rather than laying the brace in the dish and tracing it and trimming it. And some people just start sanding and sand the whole brace in the dish. That's way too tedious. So I'm not doing that. And one other thing, and I'll redirect myself here. First of all, past all the stuff laying on the bench, here's one set. I sanded those 2 sets down. Here's one set right here. I taped and edged in my joiner. And the other set is over here underneath the weights being glued up. In the fashion I like, where you just put screws on each edge, you teepee it with a piece of wood under it, and then you put screws down each edge, and then you glue it, and when you push it down from the teepee, that exerts enough force on that joint to set you up just fine. I just happened to use a piece of the bracewood I got in that package to do that. Now the other thing that I wanted to mention while we're rushing through so this video doesn't get too long, also explain to you that I don't have a shooting board. So I ran these through the joiner and I checked them and they looked really good, and I thought, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and just clean up that edge and sand it. So I used one set as the subboard, and then I put the other set. Now I've got that one gluing up so I can't show it to you, the real set right there. And then I also have my sanding beam over here. So let's just say this was my sanding beam, right? So I was able to take my sanding beam and sand like that over on top of my bench. And so you don't really have to have a shooting board to make that happen. I just laid on it, made sure everything was flat. I had the edge taped like this so all my front edges were good, and I double checked. So anyway, and then I did that. And I put it back together and double checked everything, and it looked really good, so I glued it. I did the same thing to this one while I had the other set paired up, so I just took the bottom one, put it on top, and then did the same thing, sanded the edge. Of course, I will double check this before I glue it up. But anyway, so that's where we're at after today. You guys are all caught up with what I've done on the acoustic builds. I might also mention that that mahogany is about 90 years old. And I've had it because I've had it for a while. And when it was given to me, it was 85 years old. So it's been acclimating in my shop for a long time, as have these tops. I've had them for well over a month. So they've been out here in the shop acclimating. My shop's riding at about 50%, which isn't bad. So that's it. I think I'm finally done catching you up on this build. And I'm going to do this video, and then it's probably going to be a long time before I do another one, because I've got to make molds and do all kinds of stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to make you suffer through all that. So anyway, take care, everybody. And I will see you soon. No, I won't. I will see you soon with something, but I'm not going to see you too soon with this thing. All right. Enough. Bye, y'all.